Hey y'all, happy Sunday. Today's a special day here at the Lamb House. It's Sunday, the Lord's Day. It's the first day of spring. We've got flowers and it's my birthday. Come join us for a Mexican fiesta. For today's fiesta, we're gonna have shredded beef enchiladas with a red enchilada sauce. And I've started the process last night by preparing our shredded beef. So last night I took a 3-pound chuck roast, it was a London broil, and I put it in my crock pot and seasoned it with salt, pepper, garlic powder, paprika, a pack of taco seasoning, a little extra cumin, and then I covered it with a can of Rotel tomatoes and also a small can of green chilies. I put that on low and let it cook all night. When I woke up this morning, everything was smelling delicious, and I came in and looked and it was beautiful, still bubbling. And I took a look at the meat. I stuck in my tongs and just completely fell apart on me. And this is exactly what you want to achieve. You're gonna have some liquid still in the pot. And the first thing that we're gonna do is drain off some of that liquid and put it in a pot here on the stove. And we're gonna start our enchilada sauce. The first thing we're going to do is take some of the juice out of our meat and ladle it into this pot to get our enchilada sauce started. So we're going to put a couple of good ladles of this juice that the meat is cooked off. And then we're also going to take a little bit of it, put it into a little bowl. And we're going to use this to make a cornstarch slurry to thicken up our enchilada sauce. So we've got our oven preheated to 350. We've got our pan on medium, a little better than medium, to let this go ahead and start heating through and getting bubbly. Meanwhile, I've added about a half a teaspoon of cornstarch to some liquid that I reserved in this little bowl. Mix that together real good, make sure there aren't any lumps, and just pour it in. And that's going to serve to thicken the liquid. Now that this is bubbling nicely, we're going to add a can of, it's actually a large can of your mild red enchilada sauce. Now let this cook. Let it get warm all the way through, bubbly. Let it thicken up a little bit, and then we'll turn it off and put it to the side. Now, one of the keys to this dish is some good fresh cilantro. I picked up a pretty bunch of it yesterday. We're just gonna tear some off. It's the fun part. Maybe start with about a handful. This part's gonna go into the sauce that we have just prepared. So just cut it up real small. All right, let's add this beautiful cilantro into our sauce and let that continue to cook down after we stir it around. And now, I'm gonna get happy. I mean, really, what's a fiesta without a margarita? That's how we're getting happy today. The first thing that we're gonna wanna do is put some salt on the rim of our margarita glass. And instead of using water, cut up a lime and use the lime juice to do it. This makes it taste better. So just run a piece of lime around the lip of your cup. Dip it in the salt. Perfect. Now, add some ice to your cup. We're gonna take 1 shot of our tequila and add it to your shaker. Then we're going to fill the rest with the margarita mixer. Put the lid on, give it a good shake. and pour. Can't wait to drink it. Our sauce has been just bubbling away over here, and it's starting to thicken up a little. So at this point, just give it a good stir and go ahead and turn off your burner and just let it sit. Cheers. Happy birthday to me. Now let's get happy together. The next step is going to be to fry up some corn tortillas. And while we're waiting on the oil to get hot, let's prepare our ingredients. So we've got our meat mixture all ready to go. We've got some regular Mexican style shredded cheese. I've got some olives just because I love black olives in anything Mexican. And then I've got a little queso fresco that I'm just kind of pinching, and we're going to add some of this too. I like the other kind of cheese for its creaminess, but I love this type of cheese for its really salty brininess. So I've got a little vegetable oil in my pan that I've heated, and I've got a pack of regular corn tortillas. Now, to be able to tell whether your oil is hot enough to fry, I learned a secret of the chefs on cooking shows. And if you stick a wooden spoon down into the oil, you'll see it really start to bubble up. That's how you know your oil's ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and start. This goes really quickly. You don't want these to get too cooked. You want them to cook just enough to be pliable where they won't crack, but not overdone. So we're gonna only put in a couple at a time. And almost as soon as it's in there, you're gonna wanna go ahead and flip. You'll see it start to bubble up on the top. See how this looks. Yeah, those look pretty good. Let's go ahead and take these out and we'll do another round. Olé. All right, now that these are fried up, let's assemble our enchiladas. The first thing I've done is prepare my pan. I've got a 9 by 13 inch baking dish, and I've added a couple of the big ladles of the enchilada sauce in the bottom of the pan. So next, we're gonna take our very pliable corn tortilla, and we're gonna add some of the meat mixture, some black olives, and the 2 different types of cheeses. Next, all we're doing is just closing it up, and we're gonna lay it seam side down in our pan on top of that enchilada sauce. And we're just gonna do this over and over until we fill the pan. Once these are all assembled, we're gonna take the rest of that delicious sauce and spoon it right over the top. Heck, let's just pour it right over the top. You want them to be pretty well immersed because you don't want these to get dry during the cooking process. And then once we have it all in, move it around to cover everything. And we're gonna add some cheese. First, add that good creamy shredded cheese that we added to the inside of our enchiladas. And you're gonna want quite a bit. You want these to lay under a blanket of cheese. It's delicious. I also like to add some more of the queso fresco. It's just so pretty too. It doesn't melt down quite as easily as that other cheese does. Holds its shape a little better. And then to finish this off, let's top it with some cilantro. I'm heavy-handed with the cilantro too. And it really gives it a nice flavor. Freshens it up a little bit, and it also looks really pretty. Now we'll bake this at 350 for probably about 45 minutes. You're just gonna wanna bake it until it's real warm and bubbly, getting brown over the top. And this is our finished product. Look how yummy, ooey gooey, bubbly. This looks really delicious. Now we're just gonna garnish this with a little sour cream, if you like it. And a little bit more cilantro, just to be pretty. And then a little squeeze of lime juice over the top. Once again, we've got perfection. Thank you so much for joining me on my special day. And just remember, make every day a holiday. Happy cooking!